Speeds for free when you get TV, internet, and phone. Ask for Trio from Rev.
Join the revolution.
Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
Could the DNA and the FNM be joining forces? That and more tonight on our news.
FNM Council member Lincoln Bain explains why he recorded those controversial comments by former FNM Senator Lanisha Roll, and he denies he had anything to do with the leak.
The Social Services Minister responds to criticisms about the Christie administration. That story's coming up. Welcome to our news. I'm Christina McNeil. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, leader of the Democratic National Alliance, Granville McCartney, thinks he has found the solution to securing the government and getting the Progressive Liberal Party kicked out of office in the upcoming general election. Giorgio Bain reports.
Leader of the Democratic National Alliance, Granville McCartney, says the biggest nightmare for the Progressive Liberal Party would be if the DNA and the FNM formed a coalition to get rid of them in the upcoming general elections. However, McCartney said if that does not happen, FNM leader Dr. Hubert Minnis could be the PLP's greatest advantage.
I've said to defeat the PLP, and I maintain this, the easiest way would be if there's some accommodation. Not folding up. Not folding up. No. Not going and joining the FNM. Like I said, that's like changing decks on the Titanic. They are in disarray. But they still have some numbers. And to win an election, you need the numbers. And my point is, if that were to happen, the PLP would be a distant memory. I also said that if something like that were to happen, some accommodation, then that would be the worst nightmare for the PLP.
McCartney said the response he received from the Free National Movement was not the one he was hoping for, as the party's recommendation may result in the collapse of the DNA party.
Dr. Hubert Minnis would like for the DNA to fold up and come to the FNM. That is not happening. You got to be stuck on stupid to believe that's going to happen. I've said it over and repeatedly, the DNA is not going anywhere. We just celebrated our 5th anniversary. We're the fastest growing party in this country. We are a party that has some excellent candidates to date. And we are perhaps even more resourced right now than the FNM.
McCartney said while he supports a joint effort, the DNA will not fold and join the FNM.
From my understanding, the response by the FNM is that they want us to fold up the DNA, join the FNM, and they give us 3 seats, or 3 safe seats, they say. But if the FNM decide to continue along this mindset that they think that the DNA must fold up and come with them, after this election, the FNM will be what you consider the third party.
Reporting for our news, I'm Giorgio Bain.
Thanks, Giorgio. Well, FNM Council member Lincoln Bain today denied he had anything to do with the leaked audio recording of former Senator Lanisha Roll, who was heard making disparaging remarks about a few of her fellow party members. Roll resigned from the Senate last week as the recorded conversation made the rounds on social media. Dana Smith has more details in this report.
The FNM found itself embroiled in controversy once again after Roll was heard making disparaging comments about certain senior FNMs in leaked audio recordings. Well, Bain explained he recorded that conversation as a means to protect himself because he was told he was about to be set up.
I didn't give it to the media. Persons were concerned about that. I was warned that I would be sabotaged at this meeting and to be careful. I didn't know what that meant. I was going into a meeting one-on-one with a female. I didn't know what would be said, so I just recorded for my personal purposes. If nothing interesting was said or nothing pertinent, I would have deleted it and moved on.
Bain and Roll reportedly met at Starbucks, where, as detailed in the audio recordings, Roll discussed the Pinewood nomination with Bain and other internal party matters. She accused certain FNM MPs of being selfish and not interested in supporting the party's leadership.
I just listened. You know, I've been in media and doing things for a long time, so it takes a lot to move me. It didn't really move me, but I did find some things shocking.
Bain admits he played the recorded conversation for senior FNMs who Roll mentioned, but insisted he doesn't know exactly how the recording was made public and denied having a role in the leak.
I don't think I did anything wrong. I mean, I spoke to the legality of it. You can record a conversation that you're a part of. I didn't publish it. I let persons hear it who it was interested, you know, in it, and affected them. Persons have, you know, honest, legitimate questions about, you know, how it got out there and whether I did it to sabotage or I did not.
When reached for comment today, Roll said she had none. In a statement last week, she said she resigned for personal reasons. Reporting for Our News, I'm Dana Smith.
Thanks, Dana. Dr. Dwayne Sands, who has been selected to replace former FNM Senator Lanisha Roll in the upper chamber, says he was surprised by his Senate appointment. He called Roll's resignation unfortunate, telling Our News her political career was short-lived. Vonique Toot reports.
In the wake of Lanisha Roll's controversial resignation from the Senate, her replacement is dismissing PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts' assertion that the move signals a deepening divide and growing unrest within the Free National Movement. Dr. Dwayne Sands says Roberts' comments are comical. However, he admits the circumstances surrounding his Senate appointment are regrettable.
It is unfortunate that a young political career was short-lived. But indeed it was. I acknowledge the circumstances by which I'm returning to the Senate. I take note of it, and I focus more importantly on the work that is necessary to be done.
Roll is the third FNM senator to resign amid controversy over the last 2 years. Roberts said party leader Dr. Hubert Minnis has failed Leadership 101, which he called a freshman course. However, Sands told Our News today he rarely takes anything the PLP chairman says seriously.
The comments of Mr. Roberts, as comical as they are, provide interesting sound bites, but have very little substance. I believe that the Bahamian public would look more favorably on the PLP if they had taken the example of the Free National Movement when the Deputy Prime Minister misled the public on BAMC, when the Minister with responsibility for agriculture was alleged to have interfered with the judiciary, when the Minister with responsible for transport has been shown over and over to be incompetent.
Sands, who is the FNM's candidate for Elizabeth, says his focus is to help restore the trust of voters who have endured 4 years of hell and misery under the PLP. Outspoken Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins wrote the FNM's leader calling for Sands to be appointed senator to heighten the party's profile weeks before this latest controversy. However, Sands says he wasn't expecting it.
This is a bit of a surprise for me, and certainly the idea of returning to that place where I spent the better part of almost a year and a half. There's a bit of trepidation as to whether or not I will be worthy of the confidence reposed in me by my party and my leader.
Sands briefly served as an FNM senator under the last Ingram administration. Reporting for Our News, I'm Vonique Toot.
Thanks, Vonique. Well, the constitutional referendum is just weeks away and voter registration is a bit slow. Our Simone Davis went to several locations today to find out how the process is going in the run-up to the June 7th poll. Here's her report.
Assistant to the Parliamentary Commissioner Jeffrey McPhee said the records reveal that around 31,000 Bahamians have registered to vote since last October, when early voter registration began. He also said around 170,000 Bahamians registered to vote for the 2012 general election. Meantime, First Assistant Secretary in the Department of Parliamentary Services Alexander Carey, who is stationed at the Town Center Mall voters registration location, said when registration began, many people came in, but numbers have declined since then. He suggests that on a good day, registration could average about 40 to 50 people, depending on the location.
It's very important to come out and register. That is the only way your voice can be heard. I know a lot of persons feel as though they don't make a difference, but actually when you don't vote, you're actually not putting your views forward. And so as a Bahamian, and so many persons have put themselves and their lives must not aside for you to be able to have this right. I think it is incumbent for everybody to vote.
Earlier this month, Parliamentary Commissioner Sherlyn Hall said newly eligible voters must register before May 25th to take part in the June 7th referendum. Bahamians who registered for the 2012 general election will not have to register again to participate in the gender equality vote. Carey also advised Bahamians not to wait for the last minute to register.
Yeah, we are last minute persons, but what it does, it alleviates a lot of frustration for the registrar and for the person who is registering. Lines get long and then persons get frustrated, they have places to go and all of that. And actually we have been registering since the 5th of October last year. And so when you come in a rush, that's really on you, because you would have had the government has made it very convenient for persons to come and register. So I would say take the opportunity and do it as soon as possible.
One registrant today urged Bahamians to understand the importance of participating in the voting process.
What made me come out here to vote is the importance of the future and for those that are coming up after us, because this is a very pivotal point in our country, and this is very important because this really dictates how things are moving to a more secular nation as opposed to the traditional Christian nation.
The constitutional amendment bills were passed in Parliament back in March. Reporting for our news, I'm Simone Davis.